Welcome to Dove and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with special guest all the way from Ireland, Tom Richards. Welcome.
This is where Mr. Lane always screws up. It's Tom Richards, T-O-M.
Okay.
Thomas.
I know a lot of Thomases. So, okay. First, are you originally from Ireland, or did I see that you moved there?
No, I've been in Ireland for 40 years. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a born and bred American. My father was a retired airline pilot for United Airlines, and we lived all over the place. We lived in Chicago and New Jersey, and I lived in New York and Miami, and I lived in Tampa, and then the San Francisco Bay Area, including Livermore and Dublin, California, all the way up to Seattle, Washington, and places in between, like Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I did my graduation or my graduate work or undergraduate work, and also Illinois Wesleyan University in Los Angeles. So I'm a real tumbleweed. Made it
all the way to Ireland, and then somehow got into book writing.
Well, it started about 1992. And I penned a thing called The Lost Scrolls of New Grange, which was a young adult novel. And it's about the mysteries of the New Grange Monument up here in the Boyne Valley in County Meath. And the damn thing went to number 4 in the young adult Irish Times bestseller list.
Oh, my.
And from that point on, I never looked back. And after that, I wrote Hotfoot, which was another young adult novel, and the sequel, Hotfoot 2. And Hotfoot 1 went to number 1 in the young adult Irish Times bestseller list, thanks to Gay Byrne, because I was on the Late Toy Show, which you don't know very well, which is sort of like the Johnny Carson show.
Okay.
And it was a book review. And yeah, things went well. So I didn't make any money, but things went well. Yeah.
Why? I mean, okay, so authors, this is a big misconception. We don't make a lot of money unless you're like Stephen King and you have 100 and some books out there.
That is true. And I mean, a lot of authors just make it if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Of all the people I've known, I bet you I can count on one hand the number of people who write full-time as an author. I'm writing full-time as an author because I'm retired, and I've got 2 government pensions. I've got my U.S. Social Security pension, mm-hmm. and I've got an Irish government pension. And my house is almost clean. You know, my house is almost paid off, mm-hmm. So I can afford to write. Not a lot of people can do. In Ireland, they have a special tax treatment for Irish writers. And I think right now, if let's say you make royalties of up to 40,000 euro, which is about $45,000 at today's conversion rates, that's treated special. You don't have to pay almost anything in Irish tax, except a small levy of about 3% of your total earnings every year.
We need that in the US.
That would be nice.
It would be so nice. I mean,
well,
I might just have to move to Ireland. I don't know. We'll see. But you have Dolphin Song out. So what led you into your first adult book?
Dolphin Song was actually started as a screenplay 23 years ago. It was started with my best friend, Liam O'Neill. I'm afraid he died almost 2 years ago of COVID. And well, he was my junior. He was a year younger than me. He used to call me the old man. And we were both born in Chicago, just down the road from each other. And he was born in Park Forest, and I was born, right near there, about a mile away. And then he died. And we had gotten lucky, and at the time, right before his death, he'd found a producer and a director that was interested in investing in this screenplay. But then Liam died, And so I decided to keep going and write write Dolphin Song as a novel, which is why it's dedicated to Carmel Murray, my partner, my female, my loving partner,
Yeah.
and Liam O'Neill.
Well, that's an excellent reason to have the book out. So what is Dolphin Song about?
Dolphin Song, it's a story of faith. Just to finish that little bit, it did really well. It was launched on the 3rd of August of last year, and it went to #1 in Amazon categories within 1 month. And that's never looked back. It's still selling well. What it's about, as I say, is a leap of faith. It can be summed up, I guess, in what Dawn says. If you look at the cover, and I think you have a cover, it's all about a leap of faith. When Dawn's husband dies, he turns into a dolphin, of all things, which is an Irish legend.
Yes.
And Dawn and Jason watch him die when his trawler catches fire and sinks. And Dawn learns early on that her son, Jason, who can no longer talk because he suffered post-traumatic stress disorder, the only way he can talk is to be near this wild dolphin. And the story moves on. And we discover that there's this fascinating island that's just, I showed it to you. You would have, if you could move an island, you'd see it. It's called, in the screenplay and in the book, it's called Solis Moor, the Place of the Sun. And that island leaps like magic.
Okay.
And the sun comes out, even though it's well past dawn, it comes out again. It, comes up again.
Right. It's Magic Island. Got it.
So there's a miracle. And Dawn realizes that in order to make herself happy and Jason happy and Michael happy, she has to become a dolphin. And to do that, she makes a leap of faith. In the last scene, which Liam O'Neill inspired, my best friend. The last scene is of Dawn and Jason and Michael sailing away to the west. And we know that they'll be happy forever because love is never lost. It's only found again.
Right.
And that's the leap of faith.
That is a beautiful summary of the book. And I mean, I have it right here in front of me on Amazon, and it is doing really, really well. And it's just a very nice, inept summary to tell everyone why they should be reading this book.
Well, I like to think that this one and also the next one, Always Come Home, is appropriate for our times. With Dolphin Song, so much has happened. And I am not going to talk politics. It's not my place. No. I'm an author. I'm not a politician. A lot of people have lost faith, whether it's in governments or the church. In Ireland, we've lost a lot of faith in the Catholic Church because of things that have happened. You look at what's happening in the Ukraine right now. We've lost faith in what we thought were treaties and what we thought was trust.
Yep.
And we certainly wish that the United States would make up its mind and do something about it. I think most people believe that the Ukrainian people are, we're tired of seeing them murdered. Yes. And that's a loss. That's a loss of faith, a loss of trust. Dolphin Song is appropriate for its times because it's about the finding of faith and about the regaining of trust. The trust in you, Melissa, the trust in this woman I met tonight, Catherine, the trust in a camper over there, or a fellow I don't know at all. I know he's not going to come over here and attack me. Trust in my church, the trust in God, the trust in my president. Life is about trust. Right. And we don't have it anymore.
No, we do not. Over the last couple of years, it doesn't matter what country you're in, doesn't matter what your political views are, we've lost trust in everything.
Yes, we seem to have. And that's what I hope Dolphin Song does, is it restores that trust. And I just, And listeners, I just got another hot whiskey from Catherine, my new friend. Thank you, Catherine. I wish I
incorrect. You didn't get another whiskey from me. You got another whiskey that I got.
Well, I just wish I could share it with you all because there's nothing like an Irish hot whiskey.
Oh, I
cilantro.
know that's something that I hope
And
to
for the
partake in.
record and for the listeners, it's still only 6:15 in the evening.
We've got
but
three.
anyway.
We've got 3 minutes. So there you go.
Okay, we're good. But yeah, Irish whiskey is something that we all need to partake in every once in a while.
Nothing like Patty's or Jameson or pick one. No, they're all good.
Yes.
Powers, then to Powers.
If you're putting water in it, they're not going to give you the best.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
It's perfectly fine. I can get on that as well. But you also have another book, and I had to laugh at this one. It's a Survivor's Guide to Ireland.
Survivor's Guide to Living in Ireland.
Yes.
Well, that's about my 40-year stint living in Ireland. And you know, a Yank comes here in 1982 when you couldn't get a telephone, and you couldn't buy peanut butter, and you couldn't get a pumpkin unless you went to a market in Dublin.
Is this important to you?
Well, it was then, let me tell you. And let's see, what else couldn't you get? Couldn't get rice-a-roni. You couldn't get a lot of things you couldn't get.
Right.
And you were broke, and you were unhappy because you were living in a foreign country where it rained a lot, and very dissimilar to your own, because I had moved here from sunny Dublin, California, and it was sunny, let me tell you. And that's what the book's about. And you know, I've updated it every year for God knows how many years. The print edition came out in I was going to say 1905, but I'm not that old. It came out in 1995, and I've updated it ever since. No, it came out in 2005, and I've updated it every year ever since, online on Amazon. And I just ran out of things to say, and so that's the last edition ever. And someday I might go back to it.
Well, yeah, because you can get all of those.
Yeah,
things, you know,
well,
through Amazon.
Through Amazon, yeah. And I'd like to write about down here in Iris and Southwest Beara Peninsula. We're getting a lot of Americans coming here this year. And I think they'd be quite interested in the creative wonder of the Beara Peninsula. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was looking at doing a author writer's lab over in Ireland.
Well, I've got a great place for you. Right near here, there's a place called Untitled. And that's where I always came here to write, and it's what attracted me down here in the first place. And there's a woman here who's she's from Utah, and she runs the place. Her name is Sue Forbes Booth. And if you Google Anam Cara on Google, ANAM Cara, CARA, it's a writer's residence. There are a couple of Anam Caras because there's also a book called Anam Cara.
Right?
Yeah, and if you Google Anam Cara plus Beara Peninsula, Ireland, you'll find it. And it's the best damn place to have any kind of a writer's conference or a painting exhibition, and it would help. She's a close friend of mine, and she's been having some kind of lousy health recently, and she's just wonderful, and she facilitates my writing. I mean, when I came down here, she helped me actually create Dolphin Song, and then I like to think that I helped her and her other guests when I talk to them. And so if you're looking for a place, no better place than Anam Cara. It's true.
That sounds like a perfect destination.
Yes, it is. By God. And it's easy to get to too. So no problem.
See, I learned a lot of things doing this radio show, and I'm sure the listeners learned a lot as
Melissa,
well.
can I ask you a favor? And
Sure.
Just for 2 minutes.
Sure.
The most important book that I've written to date is the one that's out right now. It came out about 10 days ago.
Okay.
And it's called Always Come Home.
Mhm.
And you'll find it on my website, www.tomrichards.ie. And it's about involuntary incarceration into a mental facility. into a psychiatric unit based here, right up here in Bantry, County Cork.
Mhm.
And it's written by an infamous unknown writer named Tom Richards. And it's based on a true story, which is my story. And it happened to me 2 times. 2 times I was involuntarily committed to a psychiatric unit against my will. And I was talking to Catherine about it. And I'm talking to you about it, and I'm talking to the listeners about it. It can happen to anyone.
How does something like that happen? I know it was big in the 1800s, early 1900s. How is this still happening in the 2000s?
That's the law. Look it up. Google it. All your listeners, Google it. And it's not just Ireland. 2 million people globally are taken into involuntary admission every year.
Because we don't address mental health.
We don't. Catherine is being such a great contributor. She's stating, and it's true, we don't put enough money into mental health, period, in any Western civilization.
We don't.
And lockdown has made it worse. It's made my situation worse. I had a heart attack, in part because of what happened to me. COVID played a big role in our mental health, and we have to be more aware. And I like to think that Always Come Home. I'm not going to give away any of the plot details. I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Of course.
But it's important because it could happen to you. It can happen to Catherine. It can happen to anybody out there that's listening. Their relatives. If you think that if you and I were married, let's say, or Catherine and I was married, and you thought that I was a threat to myself or others,
I can have you committed.
Catherine said it. I can have you committed.
Yep.
And that's true right now, like at that.
In 2022.
And maybe it's something, Melissa, if you want to, we could talk about more on another program.
That would be something we would have to go in depth in, because you have the legal ramifications, the mental health ramifications. You have so many things that need to be changed, and we do need to change our laws with mental health.
It's really hard.
Now, there are cases where people do need to be committed for different things.
Sure.
But there are also the ones that just for any reason they can be committed. No, we have to actually go in and look at these situations.
That's right. Well, that's the difference between voluntary and involuntary. Well, not necessarily. I mean, let's say that I was outside, okay? And let's say that I was outside and Catherine saw me and I was about to commit suicide. Of course, she should have me taken in as an involuntary patient. I would agree with that.
Right.
But, otherwise, don't do it. Leave people alone.
Right. If you're a danger to yourself or others, 100% you should be taken in for evaluation. Other than that, if you're not a danger to yourself or others, leave people alone.
That's right. Well, listen, in summary, I just wanted to thank you so much. And I agree that, I very much hope that people look at Dolphin Song and maybe buy it, because it is a journey of faith. And as I said, we hope that there's a film going to be made, a feature film for Dolphin Song. We hope maybe a TV series for Always Come Home. Survivor's Guide to Living in Ireland is completely on its own, but I have another number of YA novels that I'm republishing. And I'm also just about ready, almost finished with the step outline, which some people call the chapter breakdown, for my next novel called Lost Lovers. And I hope to have that done in about 3 months. And it'll be published, I hope, before the autumn. And the one that I finished yesterday was a thing called Happiness and Heartbreak, which Catherine does a great job of doing. But at any rate, Happiness and Heartbreak is an anthology of stories by known, unknown, and known authors. This edition, which we hope will be an annual edition of anthologies, features stories and poetry and plays that are Irish focused. And a big plug to my best English writer fan. His name is Bill Leese, and I've dedicated this Happiness and Heartbreak to him. He's a lovely, lovely man. I thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
Oh, thank you so much for being on the show. And before I let you go, can you tell our listeners one more time where they can find you and your books?
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to give you a couple of ways because I want to talk directly to the people that are reading this because sometimes it affects them. You can find all the books on www.tomrichards.ie. That's all one word, and then .ie. You can email me at tomrichards141@gmail.com. And then I'm taking a risk, but I don't care because I'm changing phones. From the United States, you can phone me at 011-353-86-600-4475. If anybody is calling me for money or to spam me or whatever, I just cut you off. Easy. If you want to talk sense, and if you need some help,
I'm your man.
I'll help. No problem at all. I love you. Thank you very much.
That is wonderful. And thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks very much. Thank you, Catherine.
Bye, Melissa.
Bye. And
Bye
for
from Vera.
Bye
our
from the bear.
readers and our listeners, happy reading.